Hello, hello. Today I am going to share with you what I've been eating on Mounjaro, my Mounjaro diet plan, how I lost 9 pounds in a month. So I will tell you, during Lent, which started March the 5th, I gave up eating all meat except for seafood for 40 days. Now I will tell you, before Lent, I only ate chicken, fish, and turkey. So those were the meats I was eating. I don't eat beef, I don't eat pork, I don't eat lamb, I don't eat any of those things. I only really had to give up chicken and turkey. So during Lent, I ate seafood, which consisted of salmon, wild caught salmon, and tuna. Everything else was whole foods and plant-based. Now, I will tell you, I am a big protein bar lady. I love a good protein bar. But initially, I decided to give up protein bars for Lent, and then I changed and decided to give up the meat. But I will say, I only ate within those 30 days, I only ate one protein bar. So I am super proud of myself. Truly, the majority of my eating came from whole foods during those 40 days. So I focused in on a month. How much weight did I lose in 1 month? I'm going to show you exactly what I ate to lose those 9 pounds in 1 month. In this video, I'm going to share with you my weight loss over 1 month, what I ate for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, what snacks I ate, a typical day of eating. I will also include the calories in that typical day of eating, foods that I ate that were considered high calorie meals, what I eat when I go out to a restaurant, and finally, I'm going to share my Fitness Pal video with you guys where I videoed an actual day of eating. That day of eating, I actually took a video. We're going to go over the calories, the macros, and the nutrients involved in that day of eating. Let's get started. Let's just start with my weight over that 1 month. So my starting weight, March 6th, was 248.6. And when I weighed myself on April 6th, I was 239.4. So that's a total of 9.2. There's that 0.2. If you watch Downsizing Diva, you know how I feel about that 0.2. But I'll take it for this, right? Because it's helping me out. 9.2 pounds is what I lost in a month. So what did I eat? So let's break it down. Here is what I am eating for breakfast. I have oatmeal with some strawberries. That's Trader Joe's organic oats and flax. It's instant oatmeal. And I make that, I add my strawberries, and sometimes I add nuts to it to give it that extra boost of fiber and a tad bit of protein. My go-to is yogurt, especially during this Lent time when I gave up eating the meat. So it was Chobani, 20 grams of protein. It's zero added sugar. It's the flavor of vanilla. And you can see I have my pecans, strawberries, and it is delicious. I have my coffee. If I don't stop and get coffee from Dunkin' Donuts, I will stop and get coffee from McDonald's maybe, but most of the time I make it myself, and I use Wicked Joe. It's an organic coffee. It's pretty tasty. I mean, I'm not a coffee lady, so I'm not so much into it for the taste, but I do add Fairlife protein shake to it, and usually I use the chocolate one. I had this vanilla one and I didn't like it as much, but I will just put 2 tablespoons of it in there, maybe the most 3 to 4 tablespoons, and then I drink the rest of the shake for a snack later on in the day. So I'm only drinking 1 shake a day. Now, here's another type of yogurt that I like, the Oikos Pro, 20 grams of protein, and you can see I have my cup of strawberries, and I have 1/4 cup of pecans that I put in there. So those are my breakfast options. Now, I also eat this. I was introduced to this PB2 original. I know a lot of people eat the PB2 fit. So that is 2 tablespoons of the peanut butter, the PB2 mixed up, and I add the blueberries and strawberries in there. You can see I have 1/4 cup of blueberries and a 1/2 cup of strawberries, and that serves as a great way to start my day. Now on the weekends when I have a little bit more time, I'll scramble some eggs and make some toast, and that's what I would eat on the weekends. My daughter loves eggs, so that's always a favorite, but during the week when I'm on the go, for the most part, this is what I eat. Then we have lunch. So this is my lunch. This is my Chipotle bowl. And I don't always eat this for lunch, but during Lent, when I gave up the meat, I especially ate this because it was just quick, fast, and easy. So I have a video. I won't play it right here, but maybe one day I'll show it another time. But I buy two Chipotle bowls, and you can see the picture where I take half of the bowl and I section it into little containers for the week, my little meal prep. So I take, one bowl, half of the bowl gives me 2 servings. So I buy 2 bowls, which means I can get 4 servings. So one of my bowls, I get sofritos. The other bowl, I get both beans in it. And I always get the brown rice. I get peppers and onions. I get tomatoes. I get corn. And I get lettuce. I will get sour cream on the side, and sometimes guacamole. So that is my Chipotle bowl. That is my Chipotle bowl. And that lasts me, like I said, for 4 days. Sometimes it lasts me longer because I will make some of the sofritos one. I might, add something to it like a wrap and make it into a burrito. And then I don't necessarily eat the whole thing, and I may finish it for dinner. I love tuna. I love tuna. So I was eating salmon and tuna. Here is my tuna. And you can see my tuna. I put it on a carb mission wrap. These wraps are tortilla wraps, are 17 grams of fiber. It's a great way to get that fiber in there. And I make my tuna with, of course, mayo. I put relish and onions in it. And so the way I can kick this up a notch, and I didn't do it here, but if I had lettuce, tomatoes, I might add some more onions in there just to give it some veggies, add a little bit of more fiber to that. I would kick that up a notch. So that's what I would eat for lunch, and it is delicious. Let's go to dinner. What am I having for dinner? Most of my dinners are salmon and some type of veggie. If I choose to eat a salad, I will have meat on the side. Sometimes I will put the meat on there. But you can see I have salmon and cabbage. I have a little bit of barbecue sauce on my salmon to give it some flavor there. I have my salad. It has nuts on it. It has strawberries, as you can see, and it also has some red onions. And those are my fish sticks, and I would eat 4 fish sticks. I try to stay away from fish sticks though because they're high in sodium. But when I did eat them, I wouldn't even eat the serving size. I would eat 4. And I think the serving size may be more than 4. But anyway, that's what I ate. And then here's salmon again. I realized I needed more protein, so sometimes I would eat a piece of salmon and a half. And then as you can see, there are my green beans. Those green beans are ready to go. So that's what I would eat for my dinners. Now, I also would eat a carb sometimes at dinner, and so I'll show you a picture of a dinner with carbs. So we have our salmon, we have our sweet potatoes and broccoli, and I love broccoli. I'll show you guys how I prepare my broccoli. The way I make it is just delicious, even though my daughter still doesn't like broccoli the way she should. So another thing I will add here is that another carb I would get in at night is sometimes I would make quinoa, and sometimes I would make just rice, like a wild rice, and I would have that. But I try to stick with the sweet potatoes. But this is where I would get my salmon from, Whole Foods. I love Whole Foods, and I love their salmon. It's packaged individually, so I could take out as many as I want at a time, thaw them out, and cook them. And I buy wild caught salmon. I love wild caught salmon. Another find is CPAC. They make all the kind of, seafood, fish sticks. And well, they also sell this wild salmon, and this marinade is called Steakhouse. It's a spicy pepper marinade with hints of garlic and onion, and it was pretty tasty. I don't really like the peppery type of a taste, but most of the time when I get a meat that's pre-marinated, for whatever reason, I just take that marinade off. I run it under water. I realize some of the marinade does soak into the meat or get into the meat, but for the most part, I'm not a person who likes a marinade unless I make it myself because I feel like it's very salty for some reason, lots of sodium. So anyway, that salmon was good. I would put that salmon in my air fryer and let it do its job, and it was delicious. So here is the broccoli that I told you about. I love broccoli, and this is how I prepare my broccoli. I take the broccoli and I put it in a vegetable broth. You could also do a bone broth, but I add a little bit of onion powder and garlic powder, and sometimes maybe seasoning salt, depending on what brand of vegetable broth I use. I don't like to cook it until the broccoli is super soft. I like to cook it enough so that all the nutrients aren't cooked out of it. So I try to avoid cooking it until it's super, super soft, but it is good. It has a great taste. And I know people steam it and add butter and all of that. I don't do that. I have been known to steam it also with the vegetable broth, so you could do that as well. And to cook my salmon, I usually spray this avocado oil spray on it. Before avocado spray, I was using olive oil spray. I mean, really, either one is pretty good, but that is how I cook my salmon. Not a lot of oil at all, just a little spray here and there. If you cook it in the air fryer, you don't even need that. That is what I was eating for my dinner. So protein shakes. Protein shakes were a staple for me during this time. You know, the funny thing is I gave up eating protein bars because I wanted to focus on eating whole food. So I didn't eat the protein bars. And actually, I had a protein bar in 40 days one time. Mostly I stuck to a one protein shake a day. And so you can see my favorite protein shake of all time is Fairlife, the chocolate, 30 grams of protein. And I'm not even a big fan of the flavored chocolate at all, but I do love these shakes. I also really enjoy the Fairlife Elite Strawberry shake, and you can see it's 42 grams of protein. That baby packs in the protein. Now, it's expensive, but it is worth it if I can catch it in different places, just pick it up individually. Walmart, I noticed a lot of times would have it out of the pack and you could just buy them individually. So I love that. So I would pick up different flavors whenever I would see that. And then I tried this Welch's protein smoothie. It was super duper sweet. I don't think I'll ever be buying that anytime soon, but I did try it and it was tasty, but just very sweet. I was trying different ways to get in that protein. What do I eat for snacks? Well, I love a good crunch. So I love this Catalina Crunch. I ordered this on Amazon. It comes right to my house. It's a protein snack mix. It kind of reminds me of a trail mix. And as you can see, it has 7 grams of protein, 5 grams of fiber. I think this snack is just a win-win for me. It has that crunch. This one has like a garlicky taste that I love. You can see I have it in my little Pampered Chef half cup container. I love that. Do you guys remember Pampered Chef? But that's what it is. And then of course I have my cowboy caviar, also known as Texas caviar salsa. So I would dip my little tortillas in that I counted those babies out. 9 tortillas is 1 serving. And I don't know what you eat with yours, if you put it on a wrap or tortilla, if you just eat it with a fork, or if you dip it, but it is delicious. You have to check out my video where I actually show you how I make this salsa. It's very, very good. Some of the snacks that I enjoy eating. I love to eat grapes. I have my red grapes and my green grapes, and I also love strawberries as well. So you can see those strawberries, they're coming into season now, so I really enjoy a good strawberry. As you can see from my breakfast, I kind of eat, I tend to eat strawberries a lot. Now, what is a typical day of eating for me? What does all this look like put together? So, a typical day of eating, 1,650 calories for me. You can see I start off with my coffee, and then I have my yogurt with strawberries and pecans. For a snack, I may have my dip with the chips. I have my Fairlife shake that I would eat along with my snack. But I also do put a little bit of that same shake. I don't drink 2 shakes in a day, but I take that shake and I add a little bit of it to my coffee and I finish it later on with my snack or dinner. Here is an example of using that carb balanced tortilla to wrap my rice bowl, chipotle bowl in there, and that's how I get in that fiber when I need to. So I wouldn't eat everything in my bowl. I wouldn't eat all the rice because I have that wrap that's going to actually kind of fill me up. But it's a great way to get in that protein, so I add that in there most of the time. And then finally, we have my dinner. A typical dinner is the salmon with a little barbecue sauce on there. We have some broccoli and we have some sweet potatoes. So that's a typical day of eating using the MyFitnessPal app. So here is an example of a high calorie eating day for me. A high calorie meal, an example of that would be on Sundays. I like to have Chinese food. You can see that shrimp, that's fried rice. Yes, it is the veggie fried rice. I usually order a side of veggies. So I also eat the tuna sandwich with fries, and you can see I have that wheat bread there, and it is toasted. You can't see that it's toasted, but it's toasted. And then I have my little fries there, my steak fries, and I just stick those in the air fryer, and they are ready to go. Now, I will say, for somebody out there who's listening, who's saying she's eating Chinese food, she's eating fried rice, I will eat that on a Sunday if I choose to eat that. And so, yes, I will eat that. That will be something that I do to help me balance out my calories, because it's a little bit higher in calories. And then also for me to enjoy it. I don't want to feel deprived. This is controlling my appetite. It's doing a great job. And some days I don't even eat this. I mean, it's just if I feel like I want to, this is my little splurge. And I think it's still it's a good choice. I could do a lot worse. And if I'm going out to a restaurant, this is the type of a meal I will have. I usually choose salmon. I choose a green, which is broccoli or green beans or whatever they have. I try to stay away from the salad because the salad can add a lot of extra low calories, especially if I don't take my own dressing. And then you can see there I have some mashed potatoes. And what I love about this meal is that it's portioned out. The portions aren't huge. I just love that. So that is a typical meal for me. If they don't have something like this, or if they don't have salmon, I will default and order a salad. A lot of times I call ahead of time and see, or look at the menu ahead of time and see if they have the dressing I like, because I'll take my own. And then that way I can be in more control over my salad and what I'm putting on the salad and still enjoy it. For me, if the dressing's not right, I'm not going to enjoy the salad. All right, so that's a restaurant meal that I would typically enjoy. So I'm just going to show you my typical day of eating. I put that into MyFitnessPal, and this is how it looked. So here we have our nutrition, So this is how the calories look, a breakdown of the calories. We have breakfast, we have lunch, we have dinner, and we have snacks. So for breakfast, 28% of my calories came from breakfast. 24% of my calories came from lunch, and you can see the actual calorie amount. 23% of my calories came from dinner, and 25% of my calories came from snacks. So you can see how that all works out. I love how they break that down. So I can see if I wanted to put more of my calories somewhere, I know exactly where to put it. And for me, I like to get most of my calories during the day when I'm still active and moving around. Now for the macros, my carbs, my fat, my protein. So carbs, you can see my goal was 35%. I got 40%, so I went a little bit over with the carbs. For fat for this day, it was at 30%, and I really don't change the goal. I haven't really changed as of yet. So my fat goal was 30%, and I got 34%, so I went a little bit over. But you can see where I need work is that protein. I have my protein set. My goal is 35%, and I only got 26%. So let's see how that looks. Let's see how that looks on MyFitnessPal when we break it down. Here are my new protein. I got 110 grams of protein in. My goal was 136. So I'm short there, right? I didn't get enough. My carbs, my goal was 136. I got too many carbs. I'm at 176. And I found when you're eating a whole plant-based diet, now somebody could prove me wrong, but for me and a couple of other people that I've heard that are on these plant-based diets, they get more carbs. Now, mind you, I am on Mounjaro, so I have to really be careful with these carbs. But we will see what the blood work shows when I go back in June to my doctor to see how I did, how my A1C is doing, how my blood work looks. I'm feeling really confident about it. So one thing I love seeing here is my goal for fiber. They put me at 21, and actually I got 31. I got 31. So I got over that 25, which I believe is the recommended amount. For sugar, you can see my goal was 73. I only got 29 grams of sugar. That's great. I think whenever I could keep that low, that's going to do my body well. That's awesome. You can see my fat. I got more fat than I needed. My goal was 52. I got in 65. And then you can see my saturated fat. You know, I didn't go over my goal for that. The polyunsaturated fat, the monounsaturated fat, and then the worst fat you can get is that trans fat. And you can see that I don't have any trans fat in there, which I love. My cholesterol, the goal was 300. I only got 51. So I love that I'm keeping that low. So if you look over at the second column, it was too long to keep it going on one. So I had to duplicate it and put it on the other side. And you can see that my sodium, I'm so proud of this. My sodium target is 2,300 and I'm at 1,703. I'm nowhere near going over that. I absolutely love that. My potassium, 3,500 is the goal. I'm at 1,267. So I might want to get closer to that potassium goal because we need those vitamins and minerals. And I love how you could just see a breakdown of everything you're getting and everything you need. And you can see with those vitamins, I am doing it. Vitamin A, I need to get a little bit more of that, but that vitamin C and that calcium, I am on the right track with that. So I love how this breaks it down. And guess what? This is my fitness pal. This is free. This is free. I'm not on the paid plan. So if you're interested in knowing what you're eating, exactly how many calories, I'm encouraging you to track. If you stayed this long, please let me know. What do you think about my eating plan? Do you think this is something you can do? Do you think you can go whole foods, plant-based? If you made it this far, drop a veggie in the comment section to let me know you lasted this long. Thank you for watching this video. Have you tried Mounjaro or any other GLP on your weight loss journey? If so, drop a comment and let me know what has been your biggest success or your biggest challenge with eating. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you can be notified every time I give an update, drop a video, or go live. We got this. Just remember, slow and steady wins the race. Just don't quit.